Today we are going to start with cash flow statement. Very small topic. Okay, just for format based accounting, we have a accounting standard for this cash flow statement. First we will have a notes for this. Then we will have proceed further. First one, meaning of cash flow statement. It is meaning of cash flow statement. It is a statement which provides movement of cash of cash flow. When I say cash flow, we have two things, both inflow of cash as well as outflow of cash. For this inflow and outflow, we have totally three activity. One is called as operating activity. Second one is called as investing activity. Third one we call it as financing activity. For these three things, we are going to prepare one statement. Such statement we call it as what means cash flow statement. So this cash flow statement is a simple format based thing. In AS3, they have provided some format for this cash flow statement. So we'll take up the format also. This format is important for doing a full-fledged question. So heading is cash flow statement. Cash flow statement. First major heading. It is cash flow from operation. It is cash flow from operation. Cash flow from operating activity. First one, net profit before tax and extraordinary items. Net profit before tax and extraordinary items. With this net profit before tax, add back non-cash items or non-operating items. Non-cash items or non-operating items should be added back. What are the non-cash items or non-operating item? First one, add back depreciation, because in depreciation we don't have any cash flow, so depreciation should be added back. Also, interest on borrowings. Interest will be debited to P&L account, but interest is a financing activity, so interest should be added back. Preliminary expenses written off. Preliminary expenses written off, or discount on. Yesterday we discussed discount on issue of debentures. Discount on issue of debentures, or loss on issue of debentures. Then goodwill, goodwill, patent, copyright. Goodwill, patent, copyright written off. These and all to be added back. Next, P&L we will debit loss on sale of assets. Add back loss on sale of asset or investment. When I say asset, it includes machinery, land, all the things. Also, we should add back premium on, it is a loss, premium on redemption of preference shares. Certain things to be deducted. Heading less items to be deducted. What are the items to be deducted? Complete up to this, then we'll have a new page. Items to be deducted. First one, interest income. Items to be deducted. First one, interest income. Interest paid we have added. So interest received should be deducted because it is not activity belongs to here. Less interest received less dividend received less discount on redemption of shares less discount on redemption of shares. Loss add பண்ணோமா அப்ப profit on sale of asset. So this will give you operating profit because non-operating we have eliminated. So operating profit before working capital changes. Before working capital changes. Before working capital changes, you will be getting the profit, that is operating profit. Also, increase in current asset. Increase in current asset should be treated as outflow. Only one thing you remember, increase in current asset, it is outflow. Upper decrease in current asset. Decrease in current asset is inflow. Okay, then increase in current liability. Increase in current liability, it is inflow. And decrease in current liability, it is outflow. So this will give you cash flow from operation. Or cash this will give you cash flow from cash generated from operations less income tax paid. Net of income tax refund. This will give you cash flow before extraordinary items. This will give you cash flow before extraordinary items. Okay, with this extraordinary items, this will give you cash flow from operating activity. This will give you cash flow from operating activity. Next, second activity. What is the second activity? Cash flow from investing activity. Cash flow from investing activity. In this cash flow from investing activity, we have sale of asset, sale of assets. It means sale of land, sale of plant and machinery, sale of building. All the things will come under investing activity. Okay, next, add back dividend from investment or shares, dividend from shares. Add back interest received on debenture. On the investments made, we will receive some income. On the building which we invested, we will have some rental income. Rent received on property. Minus outflow of cash, minus purchase of non-current asset. Minus purchase of non-current asset. That means purchase of machinery, simple purchase of asset like machinery, land, building. So all the things should be subtracted. Whenever we purchase, we have outflow of cash, so that should be subtracted. So this will give you cash flow from investing activity. This will give you cash flow from investing activity. After cash flow from investing activity, we have the last thing. Heading is cash flow from financing activity. Cash flow from financing activity. So in this we have following things. First one, proceeds from issue of equity shares. Not only equity shares, preference share. Proceeds from issue of preference share. Also proceeds na cash from issue of debenture. Cash from issue of debenture. These and all inflow of cash, so another it should be added, less outflow of cash, buyback of equity shares. Buyback of equity shares. Next, redemption of preference share. Redemption of preference share. Redemption of debenture. The term redemption meaning repayment. Repayment of debenture. Plus interim interim dividend interim dividend paid on equity shares less final dividend final dividend paid on equity shares less paid on dividend paid on preference shares less interest paid on debentures less interest paid on debentures. This will give you cash flow from financing activity or the net cash flow. Net net cash flow from financing activity. If you add all the three, you will be getting net increase or decrease in cash. Net amount, all the three or the summation. This will give you net increase or decrease in cash. Add opening balance of cash and cash equivalent. Opening balance of cash and cash equivalent. This will give you closing balance of cash and cash equivalent. This will give you closing balance of cash and cash equivalent or balance cash at the end. Also below this have working note 1. For the very first one, what is the very first one? Net profit before extraordinary items. Your consolidated notes, and every topic we are having like this. First we will have a notes part, and then we will be doing discussing theory questions, aprama problems, aprama 4 mark 6 mark அப்படின்னு slow we will increase the level. So net profit before extraordinary items. So how to find out this? It is net profit at the end minus net profit at the beginning. Net profit at the end minus net profit at the beginning. Add back transfer to reserve. Add back provision for tax. Add back provision for tax. Add back proposed dividend during the year. Dividend proposed during the year. So this will give you net profit. This will give you net profit before extraordinary items. This will give you net profit before extraordinary items. See, this is a format. We need to remember this format. First, we will understand the logic behind this format. Then we will proceed further to solve the questions on this. So basically, what is called as cash flow statement? Basically, a financial statement consists of 5 things: trading account, P&L account, and a balance sheet, notes to accounts, also cash flow statement. In financial statement, one of the important thing is cash flow statement. Actually, this cash flow statement will tell you what is the movement of cash inflow as well as cash outflow. Cash inflow also it will tell, and cash outflow also it will tell. For 3 activity it will tell. First activity we call it as operating activity. Second activity we call it as investing activity. Third activity we call it as financing activity. So basic of final accounts consist of following thing. Final accounts consist of trading account, P&L account and balance sheet. இதில் balance sheet consists of two things, liabilities and asset. So liability related things will come under financing activity. Asset related things will come under investing activity. Trading and P&L account related activity we call it as operating activity. So this in order to find out this operating activity net cash flow, we will take this net profit as the basis. Net profit earned during the current year is taken as basis. In order to find out the net profit earned in the current year, net profit at the end will be compared with net profit at the beginning. From the profit earned, we will transfer some amount to reserve. So whatever thing we transfer to reserve, that should be added back to know the actual profit. And provision for tax should be added. Dividend proposed during the year should be added. These are the provisions made during the year. These should be added back in order to know exact profit during the year. So these things will be added back. These things will give you net profit before extraordinary items. These things will give you what? Net profit before extraordinary item. This is a starting point. So this is a starting point. So in this cash flow statement, first we will take what as a basis, means net profit before extraordinary item is taken as what na starting point. With this net profit before extraordinary item, what should be added back? Depreciation on this depreciation should be added, because depreciation is a non-cash item. Depreciation is not actual expense. Interest should be added back. Interest is a what activity? Financing activity. When you borrow some loan, for the loan we need to pay some interest. So interest will come under financing activity. But the interest paid is debited to P&L. So since it is not a operating activity, it is added back. This miscellaneous expenses, preliminary expenses, discount on issue of shares, these and all expenses which is incurred, this will be first debited to P&L, and over a period of time, first it will be shown as asset, and over a period of time it will be debited to P&L account. So these things should be added back, because in these things we don't have any cash flow. Goodwill, patent and copyright, intangible asset. Intangible asset written off should be also what na added back. Loss on sale of asset, that also should be added back, because sale of asset will come under what activity? Investing activity. Suppose if 10 rupees is the cost price, and profit is 12 rupees, profit is 2 rupees, selling price is what not 12 rupees. If you purchase some asset for 10 rupees, profit is 2 rupee, 12 rupee is the selling price. Some asset is sold for 12 rupee, it means entire 12 rupee is the cash inflow. Okay, so this cash inflow includes this profit also. Similarly, some asset is sold at a loss, that is included in this cash flow. So this loss should not be treated as operating activity. Loss should be every year we will not sell this asset, so this should be treated as non-operating activity, and it should be added back. Same logic will apply for this preliminary expense, premium on redemption of preference share. When you redeem the preference share, if you redeem this preference shares at a premium, then it is a loss. First we will show this loss in the asset side, then it will be shown into P&L account debit side, then it will be written off to P&L account debit side. Like the second activity, what are the activities in operating? What are the things should be deducted? Interest received should be deducted. Interest received will come under financing activity. Dividend, financing activity. And how we added the loss? This discount on issue, discount on redemption of share, it is a gain. That gain will be shown as a liability, then it will be written back. These things should be subtracted. Profit on sale should be subtracted, because it is an investing activity. So this will give you operating profit before dash, operating profit before working capital changes. What do you mean by working capital? Basically, working capital is the difference between current asset and current liability. We call it as working capital. In current asset, two things can happen. Either the current asset can increase or current asset can decrease. One thing you remember, increase in current asset, it is outflow. If it is increase in current asset, outflow, decrease in current asset is inflow. And increase in current asset is outflow. Appo adoda opposite, Increase in current liability, it is inflow, and decrease in current liability, it is outflow. This will give you cash flow from operation. With this, income tax paid should be subtracted, and you will be getting cash flow before extraordinary item less extraordinary items. This will give you cash flow from what activity? Operating activity. Second one, cash flow from investing activity, asset side related things, sale of asset. When I say asset, land, plant and machinery, building, all the assets should be taken. Okay, so both the asset, current asset and non-current asset, both should be see. Now, this PPE also should be taken. Okay, investment should be taken. Non-current investment, non-current asset should be taken. Current assets and all will come under changes in working capital. In operating activity, it will be considered. Okay, so only non-current will be taken. Then add back dash dividend from shares. When you make some investment in share, from that share you will be getting some dividend, so that should be added. When you make some investment in debenture, you will be getting an interest, so that should be added. When you make some investment in a property, you will be getting a rental income, that should be added. And purchase of non current asset should be subtracted, and purchase of asset also should be subtracted. Machinery, land, building, all things should be subtracted. This will give you dash, means cash flow from what? Investing activity. Last, cash flow from financing activity. This is relating to balance sheet liability side. Liability side we have equity share capital, preference share capital, debentures. So all these things, whenever there is a issue, we have an inflow of cash, that should be added. Whenever there is outflow of cash, that should be subtracted. Equity shares paid, that should be subtracted. Redemption of preference shares subtracted. Redemption of debenture subtracted. And interim dividend paid on equity shares in between two financial years, in between two AGM, if any dividend is paid, such dividend we call it as interim dividend, that should be subtracted. Final dividend paid also to be subtracted. What is the final dividend? Dividend will be proposed by the board of directors, and it will be approved by the shareholders, and the final dividend paid should be subtracted. Dividend paid on preference share should be subtracted. Okay, then interest paid on debentures also should be subtracted. Purchase of goodwill also to be taken at investing activity. Then cash flow from purchased cash flow, this will give you what activity? Cash flow from financing activity. When you add back all the three things, operating activity, investing activity and financing activity, will give you net increase or decrease in cash. With this net increase or decrease in cash, add opening balance of cash and cash equivalent, and subtract closing balance of cash and cash equivalent. This will give you, with this net increase, if you add opening balance of cash and cash equivalent, you will be getting final answer closing balance of cash and cash equivalent. When we do full-fledged problem, you will understand this format in a much better way. Again we will revise this format. Okay, so first one, net profit before extraordinary items. With this, certain things, non-cash item and non-operating item should be added. Then you will be getting cash flow from operation. With that cash flow from operation, this working capital changes should be done. After that, we should subtract extraordinary items. Income tax paid should be subtracted. You will be getting cash flow from operation. Then investing activity, asset related thing. Then financing activity, liability related things. In that cash flow from operation, the first one is net profit before extraordinary items. To In order to find out net profit before extraordinary items, we need to compare 2 years profit. Change in profit should be taken. With that profit, this reserve should be added back. This reserve, whatever reserves we have, that reserves should be added back. And whatever appropriations done, every appropriation should be added. Reserves, provision for tax, proposed dividend should be added back. Okay, and you will be getting net profit before extraordinary items. Okay, so in this background, first we will have some questions on this cash flow, then we will proceed further. Take question number 167. Take question number 167. Which of the following is a operating activity? Which of the following is a operating activity for the purpose of preparing cash flow statement? First one, cash paid, cash payment to supplier for purchase of goods. Cash paid to supplier for purchase of goods. It is a operating activity. Then dividend received from investment. Dividend received is not a operating activity. Then cash receipts from royalty, fees or commission or other income. Cash received from royalty, fees or commission from other income. This is operating activity. Cash payments, repayments to borrowings. Borrowings, loan, whatever loan we received, that loan is repaid. So what are the things will come under operating activity? This is the question. So first one will come under operating activity. Also this third one will come under operating activity. Let's check whether we have this option. Yes, we have first and third one. We have answer. Answer is option B. Second question. Read the next question. Dividend received is from financing activity. Dividend received we will take in format. In that format, if you see, dividend received will not will be subtracted, will be removed. It is not operating activity. In financing activity, if you see, dividend received will be added. Next, investing activities. Investing activities. What do you mean by investing activities? Relating to balance sheet items. Investing activities are acquisition. The term acquisition meaning purchase. The word acquisition meaning what? Purchase. The word acquisition meaning purchase. Purchase and disposal. Disposal meaning sale. Purchase and sale of long-term asset and other investments not included in cash and cash equivalent. Investing activities are acquisition. Acquisition means purchase and disposal means sale of long term assets and other investments not included in cash. And so this statement is true. Next, cash payment to acquire meaning to purchase. Cash payment to purchase a fixed asset including intangible asset. Goodwill is an intangible asset. Goodwill purchased is an intangible assets. Are capitalized research and development results in cash outflow. This will come under what activity? Investing activity. I told you balance sheet la asset side related thing and all will come under what activity? Investing activity. So this statement is also true. Both the statements are true. Answer is option A. Answer is what? Option A. Next, one more question. Be careful with this type of question. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Which of the following statement is incorrect? Meaning they are asking false. Which of the following statement is false? First one, dividend paid. Dividend paid on interest. Dividend paid. Payment of dividend and interest. Payment of dividend and interest. Payment of dividend, inflow or outflow. Payment of dividend and inflow, dividend and interest. Payment of dividend and interest will come under what activity? Na? Financing activity. Payment of dividend and interest will come under what activity? Financing activity. Next, so this answer is true. Okay, next, payment of employee benefit. When you pay for employee benefit meaning salary, salary paid will come under operating activity, day to day expense. So and which will result under what activity? Operating activity. So this statement is also true. Then receipt of interest. Receipt of interest, you made some investment, FD la you made some investment. From that you are receiving a interest. When we will receive interest? When you make a investment in FD you will receive invest. When you will receive dividend? When you make some investment in shares. When you invest in some shares you will be receiving some dividend. So dividend received and interest received will come under what activity? Financing activity. So this statement is dividend received and dividend this is what interest given, interest in the normal course of business. Okay, and it will result in what they are telling, that it is inflow of cash, and it is what activity means? Financing activity. Then last one, operating activities are principal generate. So this is also true. Only thing is, it is not a financing activity. It is what activity? Na? Investing activity. Third one will come under what activity? Investing activity. So this one is false. So answer is option C. Okay, next one. Next one. Statement one. Snow Limited. Snow Limited earned a profit of Snow Limited earned a profit of 2 lakh after charging depreciation. Depreciation amounts to 50,000. Depreciation is a non-cash item. Question la what is given? Operating profit given before working capital changes is 2 lakh 50. Just now we learned the format. With that net profit, we will add back dash depreciation. So net profit is 2 lakh and depreciation is a dash. How much is depreciation? 50,000. Appa total cash flow from what is the operating profit before working capital changes? It is 2 lakh and 50,000. So this statement is true. Next. Next, depreciation is added back to net profit as it does not result in dash cash flow. Obviously, depreciation is a non-cash item. That is why we are adding back. So this statement is also true. Answer for this question. So choose the correct option. First one, option A, only statement no. Option 2 is no. Both the statements are no. Answer is both the statements are true. Answer is both the statements are what? True. Next one. Short-term investment. Short-term highly liquid investments qualify as cash and cash equivalent. As per AS3 cash, the term cash and cash equivalent, idhula short-term investments are covered for the period within which is less than what na 3 months. Short-term investments are covered for the period which is less than 3 months. The liquid investment meaning the investment which can be easily converted into cash within a period of 3 months, we call it as what na short term liquid investments, which is qualified as cash equivalent if they are realizable within a period of how many months na 3 months. Next one, which of the following is not included in cash and cash equivalent? Which of the following is not included in cash and cash equivalent? Okay, check is treated as cash and cash equivalent, and short term marketable securities within a period of 3 months is also treated as cash and cash equivalent. Demand draft, bank DD, it is also treated as cash and cash equivalent. So answer for this question is trade receivable. Trade receivable is a dash asset na current asset. This will come under cash flow from operation. Cash flow from operation adula current asset la changes in working capital அப்படினு ஒரு segment இருக்குல, in that segment trade receivable will come. So answer for this question is option A. Next, question number 172. Question number 172. Financing activity relates to long term funds and capital of the enterprises. Financing activity means financing activity. What do you mean by financing activity? Liability side related things and all will come under financing activity. So financing activity relates to long term funds and capital. Whether this statement is true அப்படின்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா, yes, this statement is true. I told you balance sheet liability side related things will come under what activity? Financing activity. Separate disclosure for cash flow arising from financing activity is important because they represent the extent to which expenditure has been made for the resources intended to generate future revenue and cash flow. We will not have any separate disclosure for what activity? Financing activity அப்படின்னு சொல்லி separate we will not have any disclosure. We will have all the three disclosure. Operating will be disclosed separately, investing activity will be disclosed separately, Okay, and also we will have what third activity, financing activity, investing activity, operating, everything will be shown separately. Okay, not only what this financing activity alone will not be disclosed separately, because here they are telling separate disclosure of cash flow. They are telling separator, we will not show this. Not only financing, we will show operating, we will show investing, also we will show what na the financing. So first statement is true, but second statement is not true. Second statement is false. So answer for this question, statement 1 is true and statement 2 is false. Okay, இதுல வந்து எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா இங்க ஒரு வேர்டு வந்திருக்கணும். என்ன வேர்டுனா ஒன்லி ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு வேர்டு வந்திருக்கணும். But they didn't give that. Okay, since they didn't give that, you can interpret the statement as this statement is also true, because in when you prepare cash flow statement, we will have financing activity அப்படின்னு சொல்லி we are having a separate disclosure. Also investing activity, financing activity மட்டும் இல்லை. ஓகே, இங்க ஒரு எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா ஒரு வேர்டு வந்திருக்கணும். இங்க என்ன வேர்டு எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா கொடுத்துருக்கலாம்னா ஒன்லி செப்பரேட் டிஸ்க்ளோஷர் இஸ் ரிக்வயர்டு ஃபார் ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி அப்படின்னு ஒரு வேர்டு கொடுத்துருக்கணும். பட் தே டிடன்ட் கிவ் லைக் தட். ஸோ ஈவன் இட் கேன் பி இன்டர்பிரேட்டட் அஸ் திஸ் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இஸ் ட்ரூ அப்படின்னு கூட இன்டர்பிரேட் பண்ணலாம். பிகாஸ் கேஷ் ஃப்ளோ ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணும்போது நம்ம ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டியும் காமிப்போம், இன்வெஸ்டிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டியும் காமிப்போம், ஆப்ரேட்டிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டியும் காமிப்போம். ஓகே, இங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்க, செப்பரேட் டிஸ்க்ளோஷர் ஆஃப் கேஷ் ஃப்ளோ ஃப்ரம் ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஒன்லி ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி சொல்றாங்க. when you take only financing activity is important, then the statement is false. Financing activity is also given, separate disclosure is required அப்படின்னு சொன்னா the statement is true தான். பட் இதுக்கு ஆன்சர் கொடுத்தது பாத்தீங்கன்னா they have given the answer as second option D. Because they are treated this as only financing activity is important அப்படின்ற மாதிரி கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Not only financing activity, all the activities are important. Okay, investing activity will tell how much investment you made in the business, that is also important. Okay, this statement is false, not because of the first line, because they are telling that this only financing activity is important அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. Not only financing activity, all the three activities important. Without operation, we will not generate cash flow at all. To operate, financing is investment is required. To invest, financing is required. All the three are important. Okay, so that is why I taken this statement as false, and I am going with the answer as option D. Okay, next, what is the effect of the transaction payment made to employee benefit? Nothing but salary paid. Salary paid will come under what category? It is operating activity. Salary paid will come under what activity? Operating activity. Next, some asset related side is given. Asset related things are given. Asset related means what activity? Investing. Purchase is given. Purchase means it is outflow of cash. Purchase means what? Outflow of cash. Sale means inflow of cash. Both are asset. Appa they are asking about what activity? Investing activity. What is the question they are asking? From the following, calculate cash flow from dash activity, investing activity. So appa total outflow. What is the total outflow? Total outflow comes to 5 lakh. What is the total inflow? It is 1 lakh and 80. 5 lakh is outflow. 5 lakh is outflow and sale is inflow. Appa netta how much outflow? Netta how much outflow we have means 3 lakh and 20 we have outflow. So answer is option B. Next, question number 175. Which of the following result in inflow of cash? Which of the following result in inflow of cash? Which of the following result in inflow of cash? Cash withdrawn from bank. Cash withdrawn from bank. One cash increases, bank decreases. Actually, there is no change. Issue of debenture to the vendor for purchase of machinery. Yesterday we discussed entry. What is the entry for issue of debentures for consideration other than cash? Machinery account debit to vendor. Second entry, vendor account debit to debentures. So vendor debit and vendor credit cancel. Net entry machinery to debenture. So in this entry you don't have dash. நமக்கு என்ன கிடையாது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா we don't have cash flow. Cash flowவே இல்லை. So option B will not come. Received cash from debtor. Yes, there is an inflow of cash. Okay. Redemption means repayment. Repayment of debentures by converting them into what? Equity share. We have various types of debenture. Adila one such type of debenture is convertible debenture. Debenture holders are given an option to convert it into what? Equity shareholder. Such debenture we call it as convertible debenture. Here debentures are redeemed, meaning debentures are repaid. How they are repaid na? They are repaid by converting them to what na? Equity share. அப்போ then there is no dash cash flow. அப்போ answer cash flow இருக்கிறது option C தான் answer. So it is received from debtors. Next, this is important question. This is important. Provision for tax given. Opening balance of provision 10,000. Closing balance of provision it is 25,000. Tax paid during the year. Tax paid during the year it is 15,000. While calculating net profit before tax extraordinary item, the amount of provision for tax should be added. I already told you what is net profit before provision and tax. What is net profit before tax and provision? It is change in net profit. With that change, reserve should be added. Provision for tax should be added. Proposed dividend should be added. இதில் provision for இங்க questionல என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்கன்னா what is the amount of provision for tax should be added? When I say provision for tax, we have three numbers. First one, opening balance of provision. Second one, closing balance of provision. Third one, tax paid during the year. Here, for this purpose, you need to open what account means you need to open provision for tax account. You need to open what account? Provision for tax account. Remember, provision is a liability. Liability will have credit balance. அப்போ liabilityயோட opening balance we will write it as by balance brought down. By balance what? Brought down. What is the opening balance of provision? It is 10,000. Opening balance of provision எவ்வளோ? 10,000. And closing balance of provision will take a opposite side, that is 2 balance carry down. 2 balance carry down it is 25,000. Opening balance of provision is a liability. Closing balance of provision it will come under opposite side. Provision is the liability. Liability will have credit balance. What is the entry for tax paid? Provision tax paid entry. Provision for tax account debit to bank. Provision for tax account debit to bank. How much is the tax paid? 15,000. When you have the income tax paid அப்படின்னு ஒரு segment சொன்னல, in that income tax paid which number should come na? 15,000 should come. But when you add the amount, what is the amount to be added na? By P&L amount should be added. By P&L should be added. அப்போ what is the amount of by P&L? 15,000 plus 25 will give you 40,000. 40,000 minus 10,000. 40,000 minus 10,000. Net P&L how much provision is created in the current year? The provision which is created in the current year is 30,000. This provision should be added. The actual tax paid should be subtracted. Actual tax paid should be subtracted. In operating activity, this should be subtracted. This should be added back. In operating activity, the actual payment of tax should be subtracted. The provision which is created should be added back. Next, Shyam Limited. Shyam Sundar Limited is a dash company, financing company. Shyam Sundar Limited is a financing company. It means அவங்களோட normal course of business receiving loan and paying loan தான். Loan, they will receive money and they will lend the money. That is their normal course of business. In this normal course of business, they have paid some dash. Interest paid on loan. Interest paid on loan will be treated as what activity na? Operating activity. Because they are what company? என்ன company அவங்க? Financing company. If it is a normal company, this interest paid on loan will come under financing activity. But this is not a normal company. This is a financing company. Since it is a financing company, the interest paid on loan will be treated as what activity? Operating activity. Also, question number 178, mark it as important. Cash flow from investing activity. What is the cash flow from investing activity they are asking? Read the question. From the following information, calculate cash flow from investing activity. Very important. Frequently they are asking this type of question, either in 6-mark question or in 1 mark also they are asking, sometime 2 mark, different way they are asking. This is one of the very important adjustment. Okay, so very frequently it is tested. So first to go through this. Machinery at cost, opening balance 3 lakh and closing balance it is 3 lakh and 80,000. Accumulated depreciation, opening balance it is 45, closing balance it is 62. Machinery costing 50,000, on which accumulated depreciation was 20,000, was sold at a profit of 10%. It is sold at a profit of 10%. First to go through the question. Question go through பண்ணுங்க, நான் தனி question. See how to solve this type of question. It is, first of all, you should have a asset account. First you should have a machinery account. Machinery is a asset. Asset will have debit balance. So first to open machinery account. Okay, and also open second account. What is the second account? Accumulated depreciation account. Accumulated depreciation is, sometime they will give it as provision for depreciation. Accumulated depreciation is a liability, will have dash balance na credit balance. Accumulated depreciation is a liability, will have dash balance credit balance. So accumulated depreciation account also to be opened. Also you should open one more third account. What is the third account? It is asset disposal account. It is what account? Asset disposal account. Machinery asset is given, asset order name is given. So machinery disposal account. Can have the third account is machinery disposal account. Okay. Now first one, machinery at cost. Opening balance of machinery 3 lakh. Machinery is asset, so to balance brought down, it is 3 lakh. To balance brought down, it is 3 lakh. Next, closing balance of asset. Closing balance of asset will come under opposite side. Up by balance carry down, which is 3 lakh and 80,000. Opening balance of asset debit side 3 lakh. Closing balance of the asset 3 lakh and 80,000. Accumulated depreciation 62,000. Closing. Opening balance of accumulated depreciation 45,000. Accumulated depreciation means it is a provision. Provision is a liability. Up by balance brought down. Opening balance it is 45,000. Closing balance it is 62,000. To balance carry down it is 62,000. Always first write the following numbers. Next, come to the additional information. Machinery costing 50,000. Machinery costing 50,000. Machinery oda cost price is 50,000. Machinery oda cost price is how much? 50,000. And accumulated depreciation on this machinery, how much is the depreciation which is already charged? 20,000 is the depreciation already charged. Machinery oda costing, machinery which is sold. Whenever machinery is sold, whenever machinery is sold by asset disposal, machinery disposal அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு account we will open. In machinery disposal we will remove the asset which is sold at cost price. We will remove the asset which is sold at what price? Cost price. We will remove the asset which is sold at what price? Cost price. அப்ப அசெட் எந்த அசெட்டை வித்துட்டோமோ அந்த அசெட்டோட காஸ்ட் பிரைஸை we will remove from machinery account. அப்ப machinery disposal accountல this will come in the debit side as to machinery. On this machinery, how much is removed? 50,000 is removed. Similarly, provision is a liability. Liability will have dash balance, credit balance. From this provision account also we should remove. What is the amount to be removed from provision? To machinery disposal account. To machinery disposal. How much is the accumulated depreciation? It is 20,000 is the accumulated depreciation. Here you should write by accumulated depreciation. By accumulated depreciation. What is accumulated depreciation? It is 20,000. Okay, so now balance the ledger. First take what ledger? Machinery ledger. Machinery oda opening balance is 3 lakh and closing balance is 3 lakh is the opening balance, and closing balance is machinery oda closing balance is 3 lakh 80, and which side total is more? Credit side total is more. Tell me credit side total. 380 plus 50,000 will give you 4 lakh and 30,000. It means that 4 lakh 30 minus 3 lakh, we had some purchased some machinery. அப்ப machineryல 2 bank. Tell me how much we purchased in the machinery. Current periodல how much machinery is purchased? It is balancing figure. 4 lakh 30 minus 3 lakh will give you 1 lakh and 30. This 1 lakh and 30 is nothing but the machinery which is purchased in the current year. This is nothing but what machinery which is purchased in the current year. And also this machinery which is sold, how it is sold? It is sold at a profit of how much percentage? 10%. It is sold at a profit of 10%. Oda meaning what is the book value of the, what is the original cost of the asset? Original cost of the asset is 50,000. And what is the accumulated depreciation on this asset? 20,000 is the accumulated depreciation. Original cost minus accumulated depreciation will give you book value of the asset. What is the book value of the asset? 30,000. Okay, and this book value, it is sold at 10% profit. It is sold at 10% profit. Up 30,000 la 10% will give you profit is how much na? 3,000. It means that what is the sale value of the asset? What is the sale value of the asset? Profit is 10,000. What is the book value of the asset is 3,000, and what is the sale value? It is 33,000 is the sale value. What is the sale value of the asset? It is 33,000 is the sale value. Appa both will come here by profit. We have also sale of a profit irukka. Appa profit will come in P&L account credit side. Profit will come in P&L account credit side. Appa in machinery disposal it will come in the debit side to P&L. How much is the profit? Profit is 3,000. And what is the sale value? What is the sale value by bank? நம்ம எவ்வளவுக்கு அப்ப வித்திருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா 33,000 க்கு we have sold. How we get 33,000? This is nothing but the balancing figure. Debit side order total it is 53,000. Credit side order total it is 53,000. 53,000 minus 20,000 will give you 33,000. This 33,000 should be treated as by bank. When you sell the machinery, it is inflow of cash. So in the question or answer, sale of machinery. Sale of machinery. How much is sale of machinery? Inflow of cash. It is 33,000. Also we have purchase of machinery. Also we have what? Purchase of machinery. Balancing figure. What is the balancing figure in machinery account? We already arrived 1,30,000. So 33,000 and 1,30,000. This 1,30,000 is outflow. When we purchase it is outflow. Upon netta, what is the cash and cash equivalent? 33 minus 1,33,000. Net outflow of cash it is 97,000. It is outflow of cash. 97,000 is the outflow of cash. So what is the requirement of the question? Question order requirement and cash flow from investing activity. Cash flow from investing activity, it is how much amount? How much amount means it is 97,000 is the cash flow from investing activity. Actually, we have solved this question, but in this question we will learn few more things. Okay, wow. What are the few more things we need to learn? Listen, everybody listen. This 1,30,000 we arrived as dash. Balancing figure, this we already considered. In accumulated depreciation account also, we have one balancing figure. Can you tell me accumulated account depreciation account what is the balancing figure? Debit side total 22,000 plus 62, 20,000 plus 62 will give you 82,000, and 82,000 minus 45,000. Tell me what is the answer. Actually நம்ம இந்த question solve பண்ணிட்டோம், but still tell me what is the answer. 82,000 minus 45,000. 82,000 minus 45,000 will give you 37,000. This 37,000 is nothing but the depreciation we charged in the current year. This 37,000 will be added back to the net profit, because this 37,000 is a non-cash item. This 37,000 is a non-cash item. This 37,000 will be added back. Okay, in operating activity this 37,000 will be added back. Now come to machinery disposal account. Machinery disposal, what are the numbers we have taken? This 3,000 P&L we have written. This 3,000 P&L will come in operating activity. This 3,000 P&L will come in what? P&L account, it will come in the credit side. But this is not a cash. This is an item which does not belongs to operating. It is an item which belongs to what activity? Investing activity. அப்ப this 3,000 also to be dash subtracted. அப்ப இந்த ஒரு சம்ல இருந்து இவ்ளோ விஷயம் லேர்ன் பண்ணிருக்கோம் பாருங்க. P&L வெறும் investing activity மட்டும் நம்ம சால்வ் பண்ணல. Investing also we have done. Also the things which is relating to operating we have understood. Because in one more question we will have this type of question. Adula we will use this adjustment. Appa it will be very helpful. Okay va? Next, one more question they have given. This is relating to financing activity. Generally உங்களுக்கு question இப்படி தான் கேக்குறாங்க. Read the question. Financing activity means liability side. All the three are relating to liability they have given. Now first, equity share capital liability. Equity share capital amounts to 12 lakh. Opening balance is 8 lakh. Opening balance of equity share capital is 8 lakh. Closing balance of equity share capital is 12 lakh. Meaning shares are issued. When you issue shares, you will receive cash. Also, debenture. Opening balance of debenture. Debenture oda opening balance, it is 4 lakh. Debenture oda closing balance, it is 3 lakh. It means some portion of debentures are repaid. Some portion of debentures are what? Repaid. When you repay the debenture, how much amount is repaid? 1 lakh amount is repaid. For the year ended 31st March 24, we will be calculating interest. Interest on how much amount means 4 lakh. That is why they have given interest amounts to how much amount? 40,000. From this we can understand that the redemption take place on what date means 31st of March 2024. When the repayment of 1 lakh is made. In the date la the repayment 1 lakh nadandirukana, it is made on 31st of March 2024, because opening balance of the debenture is 4 lakh, closing balance of the debenture is 3 lakh. Opening balance is less by 1 lakh. So repayment is made 1 lakh. When this repayment is made on 31st March 24, that because the interest given in the question amounts to 40,000. So the repayment is made on what date means 31st March 2024. Also we have securities premium. We have issue of shares. Other related, we have some securities premium. How much securities premium we have? 1 lakh earlier we have. Now we have a securities premium of 1 lakh and 40,000. It means securities premium is increased by 40,000. Sir, can we solve this sum without machinery disposal? Yeah, we can solve this without machinery disposal also. Then what you should do means you should give working note. What is the working note you should give? Original cost 50, accumulated depreciation 20, book value of the asset 30, it is sold at a profit of 10%, 30 la 10%, 3000, அப்ப sale value it is 33000. Like that you should give working note. அப்படி working note கொடுக்கறதா இருந்தா you can solve without having this also. புரிஞ்சுதாமா? சரி, இப்போ இந்த கொஸ்டின்ல என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்க, இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் பெய்டு, அப்ப அவுட்ஃப்ளோ ஆஃப் கேஷ். ஷேர்ஸ் எவ்வளோ ஷேர்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க, 8 lakh has become 12 lakh, அப்ப இன்ஃப்ளோ ஆஃப் கேஷ். டிபெஞ்சர் 4 lakh has become 3 lakh, அப்ப அகைன் அவுட்ஃப்ளோ ஆஃப் கேஷ். ஸோ கடகடன் சால்வ் பண்ணி ஃபைனல் ஆன்சர் சொல்லுங்க. வாட் இஸ் த அமௌண்ட் ஆஃப் ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி, டக்குன்னு சொல்லுங்க பார்ப்போம். 3 marks தான். அது வந்து இன்ஃப்ளோவா அவுட்ஃப்ளோவா அதுவும் சொல்லணும். அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணி கொஞ்சம் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணோம். ஸோ இட் இஸ் வெரி சிம்பிள். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் கொஸ்டினோட ஹெட்டிங், கேஷ் ஃப்ளோ ஃப்ரம் வாட் ஆக்டிவிட்டி, ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி. ஸோ கேஷ் ஃப்ளோ ஃப்ரம் ஃபினான்சிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி. Cash flow from financing activity. First one, issue of equity share capital. 12 minus 8 will give you 4 lakh. Inflow. Inflow na plus. Plus நீங்க எதுவும் இது பண்ண வேண்டாம், ஆனா outflow மென்ஷன் பண்ணணும். Next, redemption of debenture, 11% debenture. Repayment, it is 4 lakh minus 3 lakh will give you 1 lakh. 1 lakh is outflow of cash. Next, securities premium. Issue of securities premium, inflow 1 lakh 40, closing balance minus opening balance 1 lakh. Up it is 40,000 inflow of cash. Next, interest paid on debenture. Interest paid on debenture, it is 40,000 outflow of cash. So finally, cash flow from financing activity. Cash flow from financing activity, it is 3 lakhs. Cash flow from financing activity, it is 3 lakhs. That's all. It is inflow of cash flow. Inflow of cash from financing activity, it is 3 lakh. One more question. This question is asked for 6 mark. In this question, 2 activity they are asking, same like previous one. Investing activity, also financing activity. First, read the question. Balance sheet of Bhavik Limited is given. So Bhavik Limited balance sheet is there. Okay, heading is equity and liability. Heading equity liability, adula subheading shareholders fund, share capital. இதுல கொஞ்சம் அலைன்மென்ட் மிஸ்டேக் இருக்கு. Share capital is 12 lakh. Reserves and surplus is 4 lakh and 3 lakh. Share capital is 12 lakh and 10 lakh. Like last question, opening balance 10 lakh. And closing balance 12 lakh. Opening balance 10 lakh, closing balance 10 lakh, meaning issue of shares is 2 lakh. Same way, reserves and surplus, note number 1. There is a change in reserves and surplus. For that, note number 1 is given. What is the change? It is change in P&L. What is the change in profit? 3 lakh minus 4 lakh. அப்போ கொஸ்டினோட ஸ்டார்டிங் பாயிண்ட் நெட் ப்ராஃபிட் பிஃபோர் சேஞ்ச் இன் ஒர்க்கிங் கேபிட்டல் இட் கம்ஸ் டு 1 lakh. But question they didn't ask operating activity, so this is not at all required. This point number 1 is not at all required for this question. This point number note number 1 is not at all required for this question. The question க்கு தேவையே கிடையாது. Anyway, proceeding further. Next, non-current liability. Liability side, financing activity, it is required. We have a point number 2. We have 10 lakh. We have 10 lakh and 10 lakh has become 6 lakh. 10 lakh has become what? 6 lakh. 10 lakh is dash opening balance, 6 lakh is closing balance. Point number 2, this 10 lakh and 6 lakh represents debenture. Debenture is a long term borrowing. Debenture opening balance of debenture is 10 lakh, closing balance of debenture is 6 lakh, meaning debenture is repaid. Debenture is repaid. How much is repaid now? 4 lakh. When you repay debenture, 4 lakh is outflow of cash. When repayment is made, whether repayment is made on 31st March 23 or repayment is made on 31st March 24. Question that information they will give. The repayment is made on 31st March 24. The repayment is made on 31st March 2024. Same like last question. Now, so this is required. Also, come to the next part. Current liabilities. This is not required for this question because question they didn't ask operating activity. Asset side information required. Non-current asset is required and non-current investment also required. But what is not required? Current investment is not required. So current investment not required. So non-current investment, PPE, relating to point number 4 they have given. What is point number 4? Question la. Property, plant and equipment. Opening balance 21 lakh 50. So opening balance 16 lakh. Closing balance 21 lakh 50. Accumulated depreciation 1 lakh and 2 lakh 50. Okay, so net it is 19 lakh and 15 lakh. Relating to this PPE, also one more information is there. What is the information? During the year, a piece of machinery costing 8 lakh, accumulated depreciation is 50,000 and it is sold for 6 lakh and 50. Costing 8 lakh, accumulated depreciation is 50,000. Similar to last question. In last question, we had both the information. But we don't have this information. The sale value question la kudukala, the 33,000 அப்படின்றது question la kudukala. இங்க வந்து sale value கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Instead of giving sale value in last question they have given profit is 10%. Here profit percentage is not given as well as profit is also not given. You need to find out profit. Also you need to find out profit percentage and all not required. Only profit is required. That profit will come in P&L. Asset disposal either you can prepare or you give it as a working note. If you prepare ledger, better. Okay, because when you have full-fledged question, all the things you need to prepare. Okay, fine. Then what are the other things? That's it. Nothing great in this question. 5 minutes time. First you try what activity na? First you try investing activity. Investing activity you try. Relating to investing activity, all the numbers are given in the question itself. Okay, so இது மட்டும் தான் இன்வெஸ்டிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டிக்கு தேவை. இந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ரெட்ல ஹைலைட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன்ல, அது மட்டும் தான் இன்வெஸ்டிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டிக்கு தேவை. ஸோ டெல் மீ வாட் இஸ் த அமௌண்ட் ஃபார் இன்வெஸ்டிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டி? அது தவிர்த்து வேற ஏதாவது இருக்கா? இன்வெஸ்டிங் இன்னொரு விஷயமும் இருக்கு. நான் கரண்ட் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்குல்ல, அதுவும் இன்வெஸ்டிங் ஆக்டிவிட்டிக்கு தேவை. கரண்ட் அசெட் தான் தேவையில்லை. Non-current asset required. Non-current asset also required. Non-current investment also required. So first asset account prepare பண்ணுங்க. We received one answer. Cash flow from investing activity 7,50,000 அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஆன்சர் வந்திருக்கு. அப்போ you try financing activity. Financing activity try பண்ணுங்க. So financing activity க்கு the first page information மட்டும் தேவை. Okay. So quickly try. First investing முடிங்க. Investing same like last question தான். So we will have the accounts, ledger accounts we will have. Investing க்கு தேவையான ledger account we will have. Same like last question. What are the ledger we require? PPE, machinery, plant and machinery account, plant and machinery account. Also we require accumulated depreciation account. So opening balance, to balance brought down. Opening balance of asset 16 lakh, 16 lakh. Closing balance of the asset 21 lakh 50,000. Closing balance of the asset 21 lakh 50,000. Opening balance of liability 1 lakh. Provision for depreciation or accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation. Opening balance. By balance brought down. Opening balance it is 1 lakh. Opening balance it is 1 lakh. Closing balance it is 2 lakh and 50. Opening balance 1 lakh. Closing balance, to balance carry down. It is 2 lakh and 50. Now, what are the other information? Machinery cost price 8 lakh. This is sold. In machinery account by asset disposal, it is 8 lakh. In asset disposal account, in asset disposal account, this will come as to machinery, which is 8 lakh. Anga credit side, inga debit side. Next, accumulated depreciation. What is the accumulated depreciation on that asset? 50,000. Accumulated depreciation to asset disposal 50,000. Accumulated depreciation debit side. In asset disposal it is credit side by accumulated depreciation. By accumulated depreciation, it is how much amount? எவ்வளவு amount அது? How much amount? It is accumulated depreciation 50. எதோட செகண்ட் பாயிண்ட் நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்றேன். Opening balance 8 lakh. Asset disposal account 8 lakh worth of asset is the accumulated depreciation is 50,000 and it is sold by bank. By bank. இது எவ்வளவுக்கு வித்திருக்காங்க? It is sold for 6 lakh and 50. It is sold for 6 lakh and 50. It means asset disposal account close பண்ணுங்க. 8 lakh we have a debit side. Credit side we have only 7 lakhs. It is by P&L. When it is by P&L, meaning it is loss. When you prepare operating activity, this 1 lakh should be added back. Non-operating items அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு this 1 lakh should be added back. This 1 lakh should be added back. Anyway, questionல அது கேட்கல, not required. Understanding-காக I told you. Next, asset account. Come to asset account. Asset account tell me debit side total. Credit side total 21.5 plus 8 lakh will give you 29.5. 29.5 minus 16 lakh. 29.5 minus 16 lakh will give you 13.5. This 13.5 is nothing but purchase of asset to bank. It is outflow of cash. Outflow of cash for purchase of asset. It is how much amount? Means 13.5. Sale of asset, how much we have? Sale of asset we have 6 lakh and 50. Inflow of cash. Sale of asset we have 6 lakh and 50. Okay, outflow எழுதியாச்சு, inflow எழுதியாச்சு. tell me what is the net amount of cash? Net amount of cash. Inflow outflow? Net amount of cash, inflow or outflow? It is outflow of cash. Outflow is 13.5. Outflow is 13.5 minus inflow is 6.5. Up netta it is how much amount means 7 lakhs. Netta it is how much amount? 7 lakhs. எந்த பாயிண்ட் நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண சொல்றேன்? ஓகே சரி. Next, also we have non-current investment. How much is non-current investment we have? If you see the asset side, non-current investment is there. Opening balance it is 4 lakh. Closing balance it is 3 lakh. Some investment is sold. A sale of investment we have. So sale of investment 1 lakh. Total inflow netta 7 minus 1 will give you 6 lakh. 7 minus non-current sale of non-current investment is 1 lakh. So netta it is how much amount? 6 lakh. So this is relating to what activity? Investing activity. This is relating to investing activity. Okay. Similarly, we have financing activity. Financing activity romba simple. Tell me financing activity lo what and all we have relating to shares. 12 lakh has become to a 10 lakh has become 12 lakh. It means issue of shares. Issue of shares, which is how much amount? 2 lakh. Inflow of cash. Reserves and surplus not considered. In debentures also we have some payment. 10 lakhs debenture we had. Now we have only 6 lakh. Upper repayment of debenture. Redemption of debenture. Redemption of debenture it is 4 lakh. This is outflow of cash. For debenture we should also pay interest. What is the rate of interest? Last line it is given. Debentures were redeemed on 31st March 24 அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. அப்ப debenture we should pay interest also. What is the rate of interest? Question it is given. How much is the rate of interest? 10% is the rate of interest. Debentures are redeemed on 31st March 24. 24 அப்பதான் redeemed. It means 10 lakh was outstanding for full year. Since this 10 lakh was outstanding for this full year, interest on debenture amounts to 10 lakh into 10 percentage, which is 1 lakh outflow of cash. Upper total outflow of cash 4 lakh and 1 lakh. 5 lakh is outflow of cash. Inflow it is 2 lakh. Inflow it is 2 lakh. Upper netta we have cash outflow. Netta we have cash outflow. It is how much amount? Na? 3 lakh. 3 lakh. Upper cash flow from what activity? Na? Cash flow from investing activity, financing activity. Cash flow from financing activity, it is how much amount? 3 lakh. I will repeat. 10 lakh has become 12 lakh, meaning issue of shares 2 lakh. 6 lakh has become 10 lakh has become 6 lakh. Upper payment is how much amount? 4 lakh. Also debenture interest. What is the rate of debenture? Debenture order rate of interest is 10%. Debenture order rate of interest is 10%. This 10% should be calculated on. This 10% should be calculated on how much amount? Now, opening balance. What is the opening balance of debenture? 10 lakh. On the 10 lakh we should calculate. 10 lakh 10% comes to 1 lakh. This is also outflow of cash. So total final answer is 3 lakh. That's all. So still we have 2 more questions. That 2 more questions we will take up in next class. So next class we will complete cash flow statement and we will be starting with analysis of financial statement, comparative statement and அந்த காமன் சைஸ் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ஸ் இது ரெண்டுத்தையும் பார்த்துருவோம். ரெண்டுமே சின்ன சின்ன செக்மெண்ட்ஸ் தான். மோஸ்ட்லி ப்ரிடாமினண்ட்டாக 3 மார்க்ஸ் அண்ட் 4 மார்க்ஸ் தான். அது சீக்கிரமாக அது முடிஞ்சிடும். ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸில் வில் கம்ப்ளீட் போத் த திங்ஸ் அண்ட் அதுக்கப்புறமா லாஸ்ட்டாக வில் டேக் அப் காமன் சைஸ் அண்ட் காமன் சைஸ் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். அதுக்கப்புறமா வில் டேக் அப் ரேஷியோ. கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக இந்த மந்த் எண்டுக்குள்ளே வி வில் கம்ப்ளீட் த திங் ஆஸ் பிளான்டு. So other things will continue in next class. Next class we will continue the cash flow statement. Okay. Bye bye.